Hi guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review for the Under Armour True Wireless Flash by JBL. What a mouthful. Now these earphones are rather special, rather unique, because there are not many wireless earbuds in the market that are IPX7 certified. What does IPX7 certified mean? Well, let me show you. Crank up some volume, get some water out, and yes, they're playing in there. I'm not sure if it'll pick it up, but anyway. Cheers! No, I'm joking. Yes, these earphones are IPX certified. In other words, you can have them fully submerged in water and not have to worry about them not working. You can hear them still playing some music. So IPX7 certified means that they can be dunked at a depth of 1 meter for 30 minutes. And yes, I have made sure that is the case with JBL, but nevertheless I did want to put it to the test, and I did have them submerged in some water, and yes, as you probably heard, they do work. Now the earphones don't come cheap. They come at around £160 or around $170. Links will be down in the description below, including all links to its competitors, which I'll be mentioning throughout this review. Now, other than that, in terms of the earbuds themselves, they come with a case. Now, the case is water resistant only, so in other words, it will survive a little splash or something like that, but it cannot be fully submerged, and therefore, if you do so, it will no longer work. The case itself has like a retractable design. It's got like a kind of magnetic type of... It sounds pretty cool, but and it's got like this little kind of cable tie thing that you can then have it hanging around your waist or on a bag or something like that. You know, kind of made to be like a rugged type of design. Now the case itself provides an extra 20 hours of battery life, whilst the earbuds provide 5, and therefore coming up to around 25 hours. I say around because I'm quoting JBL over here or Under Armour rather than actually my own results, because your mileage may vary, so just take that with a grain of salt. Expect around 25 hours of total usage. Now it uses a micro USB to charge, which isn't great because most of its competitors, especially at this price range, use USB-C. Why does USB-C matter? Well, 1, it's easier to connect, and 2, it provides fast charging capabilities. Micro USB is usually limited to non-fast charging capabilities. Therefore, it'll take you around 2 hours, or if not more, to charge this thing. Now within the box, what you'll also find is a micro USB to USB cable. It's also a flat cable, which makes it a little bit easier to tuck away. And then you've got a set of small and larger ear fins and ear tips as well. When I say about the ear fins, they kind of sit in within your ear. So if I just put them in my ear, what you'll see is that they kind of sit just on the top side of my ear, and therefore providing a slightly more secure fit over earphones that do not have this type of design. That said, these are not the most secure earphones I've come across. In fact, JLab Audio make a set of true wireless earbuds which have an over-the-ear hook. And therefore, if you're going to be running, if you're going to be doing any sort of exercise, they're going to stay in firmly. What I found with these is that sometimes when I was sweating quite a bit, or when they're actually a little bit watery and I put them in, I found that they were slightly slipping out. And yes, I did try different ear tips and different ear fin sizes, and I wasn't too impressed. Don't get me wrong, these will stay in far better than such as one of my favourite, the Creative Outlier Airs, because they don't have any ear fins, and neither do they have any sort of over-the-ear hook. So yes, they will stay more securely than your average wireless earbuds, but they won't stay as securely as some of the best sport-orientated wireless earbuds. Hopefully I'm making sense there. In terms of comfort, other than that, they are pretty big, so you're going to have to bear this in mind if you have pretty small ears, specifically if you're a lady, because most ladies have smaller ears. It's very much generalization, but from what I've found, most ears will accommodate this type of size, but just bear in mind they are pretty chunky. Just like the Creatives, they're pretty chunky earbuds, so do bear that in mind. Other than that, in terms of functionality, they have a play, pause, skip previous answer calls via the right earbud, whilst the left one activates two separate JBL technologies, which essentially tune you into your surroundings. However, unlike some of its competitors, or some competitors in its past, they don't amplify the signal around you, and therefore you're still limited to passive isolation. In other words, It's almost like putting your fingers within your ear and therefore like blocking out the noise around you, and then just being able to hear your surroundings with your earphones in. Unfortunately, because they don't amplify the signal, therefore you might still miss some sort of detail. So for example, if a car is crossing or a very silent electric car, you won't be able to hear it because it's not being amplified. Whereas if you were to hear it with your own ears without something blocking your ears, you'll be able to hear it. Anyway, my point is over here, they have this sort of technology which allows you to kind of pause the music or like bring it down to a very, very low volume, and for you to hear your surroundings just that little bit better without interrupting your music or without having to take them off. To me, it's kind of not a gimmick, but it's kind of pointless because I'd rather just take them off and fully tune into my surroundings, given that these don't amplify my surroundings. Other than that, the buttons themselves are pretty easy to press, but they are physical buttons, so they do need to be pressed, and sometimes you will hear that sort of noise, that clunky noise, kind of echoing within your ear while you're pressing it. Then other than that, in terms of the looks and design, well, I think they look pretty nice. Anyone I showed them, they're like, oh, I like that design. It's pretty funky, or it's kind of like sporty looking, and it is. It's kind of stands out from the crowd, and I think Under Armour and JBL over here have done a good job. Now, other than that, let's talk about the sound quality. The sound quality is what really was going to be something for me I'm going to really be looking out for it. So first of all, Bluetooth connectivity, which kind of links into sound quality, is limited to the SBC codec only, which means that you're not going to get a higher quality transmission like aptX, aptX-HD, LDAC, or even AAC. You're limited to the lowest quality Bluetooth stream over to your phone. And therefore, that does impact the sound quality. Sound quality is kind of subdued, and for £160 earphones, I expected a lot more. In fact, they kind of perform more about like £100 earphones or £90 earphones, wireless earbuds that is. To give you an example, my Creative Outlier Airs, which cost around £75, were far superior. I mean, like 2-3 leagues above in terms of sound quality over the JBLs. And even the earbuds, which I'm going to be reviewing soon, which also have IPX7 certification and also do survive the water test, they also sounded better, and they can be found for around £70 as well. So in terms of sound quality goes, I was pretty disappointed. The bass is there and it's very like present, but there's not much quality in there. The sub bass is not saying non-existent, but doesn't really give you that rumble that you really want. The mids are pushed back, they're subdued, they're recessed. Therefore, vocals don't come out as well as they should. The highs are rolled off, and they just miss that sort of clarity at the top end. Whilst the soundstage is relatively good, given that these are, no, I'm not saying small earbuds, but they're just earbuds themselves. They give a relatively decent instrument separation, but the width and depth that these earbuds produce is pretty limited. So when it comes to sound quality, especially for earbuds that cost £160, I expected a lot more from them. And unfortunately, this was not the case with the Under Armour Flash. So what would I suggest? Well, if I was someone who's sporty or really wants earbuds for running and doing all sorts of activities, I recommend the JLab Audio Epics. I'll post them down in the description below. They've got over-the-ear hooks, and therefore they'll be perfect for fitness fanatics. If someone wants the best sort of sound quality, doesn't want to spend a ton either, you can get the Creative Outlier Air or the RHA TrueConnect, which both of these will far surpass these JBLs in terms of sound quality. And then if you want something with decent sound quality, not the best sound quality in comparison to what I've just said, but you want IPX7 certification for some reason, and you feel like you're going to be dunking your earphones in the water or accidentally dropping them in the water, then these earbuds are fantastic, and again I'll link them down in the description below. So that's the thing, the JBL earbuds aren't bad, but they're not great either, and given its competitors and the price it comes at, I can't recommend them. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me know what you think about the other earphones that I've mentioned and which earphone or earbud you'll pick. Drop me a like, subscribe, favorite, share, always helps the channel grow. Can't stress that enough. Right guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you've enjoyed this independent, unbiased, unpaid review, and take care. Bye bye.